Do not watch this video. Click away right now. You are about to see a mapping of the psychological mechanisms that govern how people actually make choices. But you're still here, aren't you? This is a quirk of human biology. Commands often guarantee resistance, while forbidding an action can breed an immediate obsession. In 1966, psychologist Jack Brem mapped this response. He called it psychological reactance theory. Humans are autonomy-seeking creatures. When external pressure threatens our freedom to choose, our brains hit the panic button to reclaim control. This presents a challenge for anyone trying to convince a friend, close a sale, or raise a child. People are not resisting your ideas. They are resisting the pressure of being told what to do. When a person feels cornered by demands, a physiological threat response takes over. Their heart rate elevates. They stop evaluating the logic of an argument and start scanning for an exit. This triggers the boomerang effect. In an active effort to restore their threatened freedom, the target will often do the exact opposite of what you demanded. Most people respond to this resistance by pushing harder, over-explaining, arguing, and stacking reasons. That approach just creates more friction. The alternative is the pull, leveraging the inherent allure of restricted choices. To gain actual influence, you have to invert the dynamic. You stop selling and start disqualifying. The frame control matrix begins with a tactic called the reluctant expert. Instead of insisting someone needs your idea, you suggest that it might not be the right fit for them. This involves product bashing, openly pointing out the flaws or limitations of your offer. This transparency strips away the other person's natural skepticism. In 1966, Volkswagen needed to sell their Beetle to an American market obsessed with massive muscle cars. They leaned into the car's size by running advertisements mocking its tiny footprint. The campaign featured 7'1" NBA legend Wilt Chamberlain to prove he could not fit inside. By disqualifying Wilt, Volkswagen paradoxically sold massive headroom and legroom to the average consumer. Child psychologists use a similar architecture called the choice trap. Ordering a toddler to clean up their toys often results in a tantrum, but telling them that a certain chore is only for the big kids makes them organize the room just to assert their independence. Highlighting flaws shifts the frame. You are no longer chasing them, you are screening them. Exclusionary marketing is a direct strike at the ego. Apple's Think Different campaign sold an identity rather than computing power, implying their machines were for visionaries rather than the majority. Telling someone they aren't ready introduces scarcity. Faced with that restriction, the ego has a reflex to lean in and prove its worth. We see this physically manifest when products are limited. Tell consumers they can buy anytime, and they'll wait. Tell them the store is closing in 5 minutes, and they will scramble under a metal gate to get inside. If you're still watching this far into the video, your mind is likely wired differently. Many people lack the focus for deep dive psychology, so they click away. But since you've stayed, you should subscribe. This strategy works because the desire to belong is hardwired. No one wants to be the one left outside the gate. Executing this effectively requires more than a script. It demands a psychological state of non-attachment. If you try to fake indifference while secretly desperate for a yes, your target will sense the neediness. People are remarkably good at detecting incongruence, and the moment they do, your leverage evaporates. This is why the most difficult form of reverse psychology is simply silence. Withdrawing verbal pressure creates a massive tension vacuum. Humans move to resolve tension. When you stop pushing, the other person will instinctively step forward to fill the gap. In clinical therapy, this framework is known as a paradoxical intervention. A therapist might tell an insomniac to try staying awake as long as possible, using the patient's own resistance to help them improve. There is a thin line between an intervention and manipulation. Deploying this solely for selfish gain destroys trust and ruins relationships once the target catches on. Influence comes from shaping the environment so that another person's free will aligns with your objectives. Because this knowledge is so potent, I forbid you from discussing it. Do not leave a comment down below. Keep this secret to yourself. Unless, of course, your urge to break the rules is too strong. In that case, type the word forbidden.